Today we are going to be talking about an element of design called texture. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to go through the PowerPoint on texture. Texture is a quality experienced through touch, sight, or hearing. Real textures are those that we can touch and feel. Simulated textures are illusions of real textures, which are created using elements such as color, tone, or line. Simulated textures are experienced through sight. Food textures are experienced in the mouth. The mouth can feel many different qualities, for example, firm, soft, creamy, rubbery, crunchy, or crisp. Textures can have many different qualities. They can be smooth, rough, soft, hard, polished, prickly, slimy, or corrugated. Textures can be used to represent objects, people, places, ideas, and they can be used in descriptive or symbolic ways. Texture can be descriptive, for example, the smoothness of eggshells or the roughness of timber. Texture can be used to represent ideas in symbolic ways. Texture can suggest emotions, feelings, and ideas. Smooth, shiny textures can be associated with surfaces such as metal and glass. They can appear cool, soothing, and calm. Soft textures can be associated with surfaces such as flesh or fabric and can appear warm. Rough, spiky, or prickly textures can suggest danger or aggression. Texture can evoke memories and strong nostalgic responses in individuals. Texture can evoke strong emotions and psychological responses in individuals. Personal experiences can influence the way an individual responds to texture. Texture can create visual or tactile effects. It can appeal to our sense of taste, for example, a juicy, soft orange, soft, creamy cheese, or a rough, crunchy biscuit. Texture can be functional, for example, the smooth handle and rough teeth on a grater. Texture can create an illusion of space. Lightly textured areas can create a feeling of open space. Heavily textured areas can appear to advance and fill in space. Texture can indicate freshness or quality in food. Okay, so our texture assignment, it'll show up here in assignment 5 texture. I just haven't added it yet. Texture assignment will look something like this. Basically, we have our good old antonyms and synonyms that you need to do. And then you need to open Adobe Photoshop and create a design that consists of a variety of 3D shapes. Create different textures on each shape. And write a paragraph describing the textual qualities visible in your design. So you are going to pull up Adobe Photoshop for this portion of the assignment after you finish your written work. For this assignment, you can just work on the default Photoshop size. It's fine. Module 1, assignment 5. Okay. Now to create shapes, there are a few different ways we can do it. We have talked about the shape tool before, which is just down here, and it may show up, the icon may show up as any of these. Now we can use this if we want to draw our shapes, but I find it's a little bit harder to get that 3D effect on this. So what I'm going to get you to do is, at least for a couple of the shapes, I want you to try using the pen tool. Now the pen tool at first can be quite frustrating, but it's one of those tools that are quite versatile, and many animators and graphic designers use the pen tool all day, every day. So it is a tool that is essential in graphic art, so you do need to get used to it. It does get a little bit easier when we go into our Illustrator assignments, because the Photoshop pen tool has an extra step. So to use the pen tool to create a straight shape with straight lines, it's fairly simple. All you have to do is click, now we have a line. These are called anchor points that we are laying down. And when we're just doing a straight line, we can just click, and when we want to close our shape, you can see when I go to my first anchor point, I get a little circle. Now that's going to group our shape and make it a shape. So we need to make sure we're closing all of our shapes. So I click there. Now we have a shape. Alright, not the best looking shape, but it gets a little bit confusing when you go in and you want to add curved lines. Okay, so if I want to do a straight line, I just need to click, and then straight line. Let's say I want to add a curved line here. What I need to do is click and hold and drag the handlebars. Those are the lines that are coming out of the anchor point. Those are called handlebars. And I need to click and drag and hold to get those. Once I have that handlebar, if I want to continue making my shape, I need to hold down Alt, and you see how that little arrow comes up beside my pen tool, and I click that point, one of the handlebars disappears, and then I can go on and create my shape. And again, I just need to close that. See how that circle came up to make sure that I'm closing that shape, and now I have a shape like that. So again, the circles are the tricky parts, the rounded corners. So again, to create a curve, I click and hold and drag. Go back to my anchor point, hold down Alt until I see the arrow, click that, click and hold and drag. Go back to my anchor point, hold down Alt, click and hold and drag. Go back to my anchor point, hold down Alt. And lastly, my loop symbol comes up, click and hold and drag, and let go. So the curve shapes are the hardest, but with the pen tool, it's easy to fill, and you can get other shapes than you would just get using these. So yes, you have to use the pen tool to create at least 2 shapes in this assignment. I'll just show you a quick example of a 3D shape here. So this one's just using straight lines. Okay, now to change my colors, let's say the light source is coming from this side, so this is going to be lighter than this side because the light is hitting it. So I just go in here, not that light. Okay, looks like I need to move this over just a tad. If it'll let me without freaking out. No, I guess it's not gonna. Okay, so what you can do now is you can go ahead and link those two layers or merge them. So you click on layer 2, hold down the shift key or the control key, click on shape 1, right click, go down to merge layers. Now the assignment says you need to add texture. So once I have merged my shape, I can go up to filter, and there's lots of filters here that you can try, but there's even a texture filter where I can go on and add different filters to my shape. I kind of like this one. Once you go in there, you can play around with each individual filter too and see what you like best. Okay. Alright, so that's an example of how to make a 3D shape using the pen tool. Again, you can use the shapes under here for other flat shapes that you might use. Not all of the shapes on your composition have to be 3D. Make sure, of course, you are putting each shape on an individual layer so you can move it around. Trying out some other filters here for fun. Alright, so have fun with this assignment. When you are done this assignment, please save it as a JPEG. Oops, I forgot to, oh, I think I titled it. Then hand it in along with your written work. Okay, hope you enjoy this assignment. After you're done, please move on to assignment 6.